Okay, so as you can see, we're pretty much set up. We've got the doors up, the drawers out, the glides have been removed. There's a couple final pieces we'll be taking out, but I thought this was a good time that we could show you kind of how we start to make our marks and get the foundation prepped for putting our fronts on. So come on in here. We have our elevations for the kitchen. It doesn't matter what program you decide to use. Basically what we do is have the plan for every area with our notes that we've made, showing the doors, which way they're hinged, if there's any non-standard hinge heights, any additional work that needs to be done. So just to walk through some of that, right off the bat, you can see under the sink that cabinet deck is shut. That is done. That was done 10 years ago. So we're gonna cut and remove this out and replace it with a nice 3/4 inch thick finished maple floor. So that'll get all freshened up. You know, every 2 kitchens, something like that, we have to do that work. The next thing that we do is basically take a Sharpie here, really simple. Just make a couple dashes anywhere where we're going to cut and remove center stiles and rails. Most cabinets we will cut and remove these. You know, an area like this with a seam on the counter that's going to stay, you always want to be aware of that. I may even decide to leave this until we're ready to put our new front on, which has the fixed drawer front. So that's basically going to be like a 7-inch or so wide piece of almost solid wood that's going to support. So I'm not concerned about the counter. Even if we cut this out, I'm sure it'd be fine. But I will go around and make little marks anywhere where we're going to be cutting out rails and making one single opening. Looking at the plan, I know that this is going to become a door-mounted rollout. So we're actually going to be cutting this shelf out. So I'm going to just make a mark there and we'll just get that guy removed. And the next big step, and this is really critical, is we take our hinge plate jigs, set the height from the opening, the reveal on the top. This is for the upper cabinets. It's typically a 1/2 inch reveal, which is what I did here. So get this set to about a 1/2 inch. Anywhere we're going to have a hinge, we push this in, we mark the top and bottom. That gives us our approximate location of the hinge plate where we will either route or just cut and notch out depending on the situation. So these are all set at standard heights. The reason that we do this not only is to know where to place the opening for the hinge that's going to be attached to the back of our new front frame, but also just like this here, you can see we got a screw right in the middle where our hinge is going to go. So we're just going to take a moment, drill a new hole, and just move that screw down. So it's still attaching this filler, but we're not going to hit that with the router bit. There's a couple other prep steps that we'll be doing, flipping the shelves around. We'll spin these 180 to have the square edge out front. These have a little rounded edge, so that way we can glue and nail our new shelf edge trim to them. Any other little notes? There's a couple little specific areas I'll do in separate videos, but that's the good overview of the prep work for the foundation. So the next time you'll see this, we'll have cut all the center stiles and rails out and have the hinge locations all marked out. All right, so now that we have most of the prep work done, we're going to just take a quick little tour and show you kind of the general plan on what we're doing, some of the more detailed stuff. At this stage, you know, you've looked at your elevations and your plans for the different cabinet areas and made most of the notes. I'm going to catch a couple last things here with you. So as you can see, we use some little blue tape notes to just capture anything that's a non-standard bore height on the doors. These shorter doors, we always do the hinges a little bit wider so that they don't go out of adjustment as easily. We've used our jigs to mark the heights on the hinge locations on every cabinet opening, so that way we know if we need to move any screws, if anything's going to be in the way. And then measured out, marked out for the door stops, to make some little let outs for the door stops so that they have a little home to live in. And then I usually would build out these sides with some 1/4-inch Luan plywood and just fur that out so they'd be flush with the frame end. But we're smack up against this window trim. Instead of coming out, you know, a 1/2 inch on that, I decided let's just route these frame ends off and then, you know, flush here with a flush trim bit. And then that way we're only coming a 1/4 inch onto the casing of the window. All right, we'll catch you in the next video.